Hi everyone, I'm with Chris Waller, champion trainer in Australia. I'm going to interview Chris for a few questions. Hi Chris, how did you get involved with horse racing?
I was born on a farm in New Zealand, and through that I got to deal with animals, and it was actually a cow farm, a dairy farm, and my grandparents used to have a few horses, hobby owners, hobby breeders, and my grandparents used to go to the races quite often.
Yep.
And I used to tag along, and was always intrigued by racing, wanted to be a jockey, was too big to be a jockey, so went down the route of working through the stables, gradually working my way up, and eventually became a horse trainer.
You been in training about more than 15 years, to say. Which horse, obviously everybody knows, but which horse is the best horse you ever trained?
Well, Winx was the best horse I've trained. She was something quite unique. Her winning sequence, I think, was about 33 wins, and she retired at the end of that sequence without being defeated for 33 starts. So it was very special. With that came an amazing experience, a lot of thrills, but also a lot of pressure and expectations from people following racing, not just in Australia, but she reached out to the rest of the world, people from all parts of the globe, and captured the imagination. We've all seen the great horses in Japan, England, Ireland, wherever they come from, and to get a horse like that was very special.
Obviously you trained so many good horses in the past 5 years, and is there any other horse that take a special place in your heart other than Winx?
I think the beauty of horse racing is it affects people differently, and regardless of what level of racing you're at, there's so many great thrills, and that's been the case with me. Among the obvious Group 1 races, which we all dream about winning, just horses along the way that may help your career get started. The first horse I had was a very important one called Party Bell. She won 3 races when I just moved from New Zealand to Australia. My first Group 1 winner was Triple Honour back in 2008. That holds a very special place in anybody's heart because it gives you that confidence to know that you can compete at the Group 1 level. And then along the way there's been horses like Rangi Rangdu that meant a lot to me. There've been Who Shot the Barmans that were in the stable for a long time, and they finally managed to win a Group 1 race, through to Nature Strip, who's become a really good sprinter and got the best rating in the world at the moment for sprinting, and obviously Very Elegant winning a Melbourne Cup just recently. So obviously the more recent wins sit firmly in your mind, but there's been a lot of highlights along the way.
Yeah, for sure. We all know that you won so many big races already, but what is the race you most win again?
The Melbourne Cup was something I didn't really understand the size and the audience it captures. Obviously, it's a very important race in the racing calendar, but it's almost a race that you don't dare dream about winning because there's so many disappointments and you don't quite reach your goals. But to win that, it is a race that stops the nation, and obviously Japan's had great success in it, as have other parts of the world, and everybody now wants to win the Melbourne Cup. So that was a real highlight, and it's certainly a race that I'd like to win again. The Cox Plate is the big weight for age race in Australia each year, and we've been fortunate to win that a few times. And obviously Australian racing's orientated towards speed and 2-year-old racing in recent times, so the Golden Slipper, which is run at our home track here at Rosehill, is certainly the race that I now want to win. But the beauty of Australian racing, Itchy, is there's 4 derbies.
Yeah,
so you've
4
got
derbies, yeah.
Victoria, Sydney, which is the Australian Derby, Queensland, and South Australian Derby, as well as other derbies that are in different states, but they're not Group 1s. But there's 4 Group 1 derbies in Australia, 4 Group 1 Oaks in Australia, and they've all got lead-up races. So I think they're races that can be targeted especially if you've got stamina. And when Australia's breeding more for speed, I think that's where you'll see the overseas horses and Japanese horses start to become dominant.
Yeah.
Well, Deep Impact was a very good horse.
Yeah,
I remember
he
him.
was.
A Group 1 horse isn't much different to a Group 3 horse. But Japan is they're always looking to improve their breeding stock.